So we're gonna focus on just a broad concept today, which is attacking posture. A lot of times we can attack out of a position. So let's say you know close guard well, or you know double sleeve well. You get to that position, you know your attacks, and you attack from there, right? So go up real quick. And that's really good. That's a great way to attack. So I get double sleeve. I'm really safe here because I know the position well. She can't do much, and I have my whole set of attacks here, like omoplatas, de la riva sweeps. But sometimes with a position like double sleeve, it can be hard to fatigue your opponent, right? So maybe I know attacks, but if she's good at defending, then we're kind of in a stalemate, and I'm not necessarily wearing her out, right? So sometimes a nice middle step between the normal attacks you do is attacking posture. And the reason I like attacking posture is even if you don't have a submission or an attack, it just puts a lot of stress, and it's very energy draining on them. And depending on the guard, there's a lot of different ways to do it, right? So for example, if I have like a collar sleeve and I stretch them out and pull on the collar really hard here, it's very hard on their posture. It's exhausting. And if you want to be really mean with it, you can literally rip on the collar like that, right? And that will make the person make mistakes. It'll fatigue them. And the more you back away, the more it breaks posture, right? So it's kind of a big concept. So we're just gonna start with we're gonna go like maybe 3 different ways to do this. Go to close guard. We're just gonna start with attacking posture and close guard, okay? So one of the most classic ways to do it is grabbing the collar. But very often when I grab the collar, she's gonna stiff arm this arm into my armpit here, and then that kind of kills that collar pull, right? So one easy one I like to do is I'm just gonna pummel under the arms, come up for the collar, and I wanna glue my elbow to her chest. Really, you guys can't see over there, but you can just trust me on it. I wanna glue my elbow to her chest early and then come back down. What this does is when she wants to re-pummel, it's very hard to get into that position. And now from here, when I control the posture, I can just start pulling this lapel deeper and deeper into my hand. Now if she tries to posture up, it's very hard because she can't get an inside frame. And this makes it easy to start moving around, making them feel uncomfortable to go for collar chokes and things like that, okay? So we're just gonna start with that basic concept there. So you're gonna pummel underneath from close guard, go in deep for the collar grip, but keep the elbow tight to the chest. Again, so you guys can see, if I have the collar grip here and I'm like this, her arm can pummel underneath. When I lock in here, she can't come under the elbow. It's very difficult. You understand that? All right, guys, so let's look at the hand position just a little bit more. I don't wanna go too deep on the close guard. This is more about breaking posture. But with this forearm grip, one thing is whenever you're going for the collar choke, you don't want the flat part of your wrist choking, right? It's very broad. You wanna make it sharp by turning the wrist backwards so this cuts into the neck, right? So when I'm here, right, and I pummel underneath, notice when I pummel underneath too, what I do is I use my knees, I bring my knees forward. That kind of breaks them forward. The combination of that with the collar grip and keeping it tight is what keeps them forward. Now you see, like I start with this kind of loose grip, right? Now I can use my finger here to start opening this and I turn my hand backwards like that. I want that sharp part of the bone in the neck. You don't want to be flat, right? From here, when I turn in, that's incredibly uncomfortable. And I can just keep pulling that across. Now the cool thing is in tournament, the pressure is on them to pass. So if I get this, it's one thing if they just want to try to stall, we could be here for a bit, but they have to actively do stuff. So I'm threatening chokes, but in a tournament, especially if they're down on points or something, they have to start taking action. That starts giving you setups. Quick, easy ones, if they put their hand on the floor to post, which is pretty common, I just grab the wrist, I immediately can come up for a triangle. If they put their forearm on my chest to kind of defend, I can bump the elbow to the middle of my stomach. Now I can come up for the arm bar. I can honestly just finish with the choke there too. Sorry, okay? And if ever this head comes across, I can just come over and grab this fabric here. I don't even go inside the lapel. I just grab fabric. Once I get any fabric, if I just bring this in front, the right arm just pulls like a ripcord. Don't open the elbows. I pull straight to my hip to choke. So it's just like this motion here. See my elbows stay tight like that? It's not this. So this is doing the majority of the work. This is locked in, this one catches, and then I pull and I bring my chest to her chest to break posture as well. All right, so we're here, I catch in. If this goes on the floor, we can go for the triangle. The forearm's on me, I just bump the elbow, go high guard and start attacking. Or if this opens, I just catch the material, come in and choke there. Okay, it seems like a really basic thing, it kind of is, But again, when you're in tournament and you're up an advantage or it's like equal score, if you set that grip on the posture and lock the elbow in, it's so uncomfortable for them and they have to do something. So they have to start making action and then you start finding the attacks. So now let's say she has a little bit more posture and I cannot break her down. So now I have a collar grip. I'm not gonna repummel, I just keep the collar. So what I'm gonna do here is I kind of push the neck to start because I wanna keep her away. As I've talked a lot about in this class, distance makes you break posture better, right? So I'm gonna push the neck, I'm gonna put my right foot on the floor and scoot out like this. From here, I can put my left foot on the hip. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push on the hip really hard. Not explosively, but just like consistent, strong force. And it's either gonna push her away or if they stay very static, which most people will, it'll actually slide me back, right? So if the person's really big, you'll slide back. If not, they'll kind of scoot back a little bit. Either way, you make a lot of space. From here, I'm just gonna put my foot up in the bicep and you see how I have massive posture break here, right? So this is just a transition from closed guard to collar sleeve guard, okay? And from here, it's super hard for them to get their arm back. I like to keep my elbow kind of high. I can pull on the collar here and I can just kind of eat the position. If I wanna make more space, I can put my elbow on the floor and back my hip up a little bit more. And again, this just wears them out over time. If she tries to stand all the way up, it's really hard, but I'll let her, you see, and I can just keep breaking posture. It makes all the attacks so much easier because there's so much posture broken, okay? So we're starting in the simplest ways to understand this, and then we're gonna progress to more advanced open guard positions. But it's kind of a mindset to be in. Like sometimes I'm playing my guard, I'm completely fine, I'm safe, but also finding the attack is kind of hard, and they have plenty of energy. So when I can find a way to get a good grip on the collar, in a situation I understand, I can start breaking their posture really hard. That will often force them to have to make moves, stress them out, and fatigue them. Just try the collar sleeve one, then we'll move on to some of the more advanced stuff. All right, let's go, 1, 2, 3. Next one's one of my favorites. So we're gonna be here, right? So now we get the foot on the hip, we make a little space, we got good posture break. Now let's say it's hard for them to come up on their right knee forward right now because this hip is so pressed out, right? So a lot of times they'll put their left leg in the middle. It's almost like they're trying to knee cut into you. And I could keep forcing the position, but just sometimes like kind of knee cut in with your knee. It can be really annoying here. So one thing I like to do here is we're gonna switch from the cross collar to the near side collar like this, right? Sorry about the hair. Right, to the near side collar like this. From here, I can just put my spider hook in, and now I can start scooting out with the right foot here. Okay, and again, the more distance I get, the more posture I break. So now if she tries to get close to me here, like this, you see, this is really strong. If she tries to posture up, stand all the way up. You see how much posture break I have? I can keep backing up with this. It's miserable to be in this position. And, you know, we can start doing a lot of half spider stuff where I can put my foot on the floor, stomp forward like that, sorry, to like bring them down. And this is easy to turn into single legs. You can turn this into triangle chokes and different things like that, right? Again, it's a bit of a different class. I'm not focused as much on the technique, just understanding a couple of key ways to break posture, right? So again, we're here, right? We're like this. Okay, so I'm trying to break here. I find this hard. She puts her left leg in the middle. It's being difficult. I grab the lapel and I put this foot in the bicep and I'm here. Now she tries to get close to me. See, I just start scooting away till I can sit up like this, right? Now this is so hard. If they're down, it's good. They try to stand up. It's so much posture break. And I can just tap the floor and I try to drive them to the left like that. You can start messing with their base that way, sweeps, triangle chokes, all sorts of things, okay? It's a very easy transition from the previous position we were in. So one more time. We're here, pushing the hip out like this, that's in the way. Move the hair. See, I push this guy in, I extend, and I start scooting away like that. Now it's hard. She tries to deadlift, super hard here because I'm so far. I stomp the floor and I drive my left leg forward and to the left like that. And now we can start doing different attacks from there. So next one's one of my more recent favorites. There's a few different ways you could get here. If we start in like a shallow lasso like this, sometimes what I like to do is, you know, instead of staying in the bicep the whole time, when I catch this far sleeve, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kick this leg out or the hip out and pull hard on this collar. what that does is it forces them to put their hand on the floor, right? If she takes that hand off the floor, she starts falling, right? So they have to keep it there. Okay, you can do this from a few different positions. Like if I have a deep lasso and I'm here, right? If I can never get this collar, I just kick this out and force that down. Go ahead and go to your left knee. Yeah. So a lot of times they'll drop down here. If we were in the position we were just in, the half spider like this, sometimes, yeah, you can be just like you were. Go back to the other way. Sometimes I'm here and they have that leg forward. I'll just kick the hip out here, break this grip if they have it. And then from here, I have a good control. And then the thing is, even though I don't control the sleeve, it's hard for them to push this foot off the hip because they have to keep that on the floor, right? So I have this kicked out here. There's a few different ways you can attack with this. Usually they'll pull their elbow knee kind of tight here. I can either sit up and go to like a De La Riva X, and you can do stuff here. One of my favorites is I just keep the posture broken on this lapel. I'm gonna sit up, and now I can feed the lapel to my left hand for a single leg grip, okay? This single leg grip here though is really strong, right? Because it's more than just a single leg. Their posture is completely broken the whole time, right? From here, it's very easy to just put my hand on the floor. I can stand up, even if she starts to stand up and wrestle. They're so broken in the posture, it's very easy to put them down. Okay, we'll do that one more time. Pull your gi kind of tight if you can. Thank you. Okay, so we're here. Right, so we're playing like this. You have a deep lasso or something. I catch the lapel and I just kick and pull. Boom. Even if they stay up on the leg like that, you can stay up here. I just keep that there. I can sit up and you see I come all, you can go around the backside, Robin. You can move quick, it's fine. See, I can just swing up here, immediately hook the elbow behind, and I feed the lapel to my left hand. From here, it's super easy to wrestle up because they can never get any posture or put any weight on the leg. Now it's very easy to start putting them down. Just a couple closing thoughts here. So if we're here like this, right, and we kick the hip out, so go to your left knee on the floor, right, and I'm doing this, and they leave this space really open, it might feel hard to like go for the single leg. But if this is open, I can always just put the foot back on the hip and come back to the classic collar sleeve position, right? Very often what happens here is they have that elbow knee tight, you're breaking posture, they have to deal with it some way. So often they put a leg forward to resist against it, right? Or to protect the omoplata triangle threat, right? And then that's why this is often available. So usually what I do is I'll kind of hook with my heel behind the leg to keep it in place, right? And I could either go De La Riva X, or I could come up and feed there, okay? But it's important to understand anytime you learn a technique, there's so many possible ways they can respond, right? So in one technique, I'm showing one possible variation. But of course, like they could just put the leg back and then you got to go back and do something else, right? But again, the main concept here is just, I want you guys to be more mindful when you're playing. Again, this is a bit more of an advanced idea. If you're newer, you're kind of just in like, you know, damage control most of the time anyway, so don't worry about it. But, you know, when you're fighting someone and you just feel like they're not revealing any attack, just mess with their base a lot. I just gave you guys 4 ways to do it. Just mess with their base a lot, and often it's gonna stress them out and make them start doing stuff. When I'm on top, even if the person's not so good, if they're playing like sleeve guards and ankle sleeve, you know, I know what to do technically. I can kind of coast in the position and relax. If someone has no idea what they're doing, but they just start ripping on my collar nonstop, it's pretty annoying, right? And then you get frustrated, and maybe they just, you know, turn it into a single leg or something. So it's a great way to create offense when you really need it. Okay? All right, guys, let's get ready to trim. 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah. You always get someone at the end here.